Welcome to our YouTube broadcast. Our subject today is Angelic severe depression remedy for Elijah.
All right.
Angelic severe depression remedy for Elijah. We're living in times when things happen to cause people to be depressed.
All right.
But there's a remedy for everything that happens. Somebody say praise the Lord.
Praise God.
Well, we're going to read our text, which comes from 1 Kings 19, 4 through 10. You can just stand with me. But he himself, and I'll just tell you before we read this part that Jezebel, a wicked king, was mad at Elijah for what he had done.
All right.
And Ahab, the king, went and told his wife on the prophet Elijah. And this is the results of what happened to Elijah. Starting verse 4. But he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness and came and sat down under a juniper tree. Say juniper tree.
Juniper tree.
And he requested himself that he might die. Say that he might die.
That he might die.
You ever been so depressed that you want to die? And said, "It is enough. Now, O Lord, take away my life. For I am not better than my fathers.
All right.
You can't die until God get ready for you to die.
Come on, say it then.
Regardless of what your fathers went through with, it's your time now. Somebody say praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
Verse 5. And as he lay and slept under a juniper tree, behold, then an angel touched him. Say, an angel touched him.
An angel touched him.
And said unto him, arise and eat. Say, arise and eat.
Arise and eat.
And he looked, and behold, there was a cake baked on coals,
All right.
and a cruse of water. Say, it was a cruse of water and a cake.
Water and a cake.
Was at his head. And he did eat and drink and laid himself down again. Went back to sleep. And the angel of the Lord came again the second time. Say the second time.
Second time.
And touched him
Yes.
and said, arise and eat. Say, arise and eat.
Rise and eat.
You see the remedy that this angel is giving for his depression? Because the journey is too great for thee.
All right.
And he arose and did eat and drank,
Yeah.
and went in the strength of that meat 40 days and 40 nights. Say 40 days and 40 nights.
40 days, 40 nights.
That must have been some mighty powerful water and cake, angel cake. 40 days and 40 nights unto Horeb, the mount of God. Dear Lord, we thank you for your word. Let the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight. You are my strength, you are my redeemer. Church, say praise the Lord. You may be seated in the presence of the Lord. Ahab was the ruler in Israel. And the Bible says that Ahab was the most wicked king that Israel have ever had. There's never been a king before him who was more wicked
All right.
than he was. But still he was God's man.
Yeah.
How many of you know that sometimes God's people are not always right?
Say it then. Say it.
There was no one more wicked than Ahab.
Yeah.
The Israelites were forbidden to marry folks other than Israelites.
Yeah.
But he went and married a sodomite.
Yeah.
And her name was Jezebel.
Yes. Praise the
He
Lord.
took Jezebel to wife, and Jezebel had him to start serving Baal. Say he was serving Baal.
He was serving Baal.
Baal is just another god with a small g.
All
It's a
right.
god that the people would serve, and they thought that Baal and Ashtoreth was fertility gods.
All right.
They would make things fertile. In Numbers 25, it talks about Israel. The Israelite men were having sex with the Moabite women,
All right.
and that would cause them to worship.
Yeah.
See, when you start getting intimate with people that don't love God, you're messing with your praise. You're messing with your worship.
All right.
You start liking what you're doing good enough, you'll turn your back on God. Somebody say praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
Verse 16, it was talking about how God was provoked to anger. Because here his man, his king, was going to Baal's temple and setting up altars and worshiping Baal, knowing what God had brought him through the Red Sea,
All right.
had opened up had done all type of miracles, had Jericho to fall down.
Yeah.
It went through Jordan River on dry ground.
All right.
God had performed all kinds of miracles for Israel, and now here Ahab is going into, because of this woman, Jezebel,
Yeah.
he went into Baal's temple and started worshiping, made a wooden image of Baal.
Yeah.
Verse 17 talks about Elijah proclaims a drought.
All right.
Sometimes when God people get so wicked, God will let nature come into play.
All right. See.
He'll wipe things out.
See where?
Elijah told Ahab, it's not going to rain until I say so.
See it.
Elijah had that kind of rapport with God. And the Bible says he was just a natural man like me and you. So don't think that he was He did something that you can't do. Somebody say praise the Lord.
Lord.
He was a natural man like me and you, but he prayed, and for 3 years it didn't rain. And he went and told Ahab, said, look, Ahab, it's not going to rain until I say so.
Say it then. Say
Because
it.
God told him to say that.
That's right.
And then God said, when you tell him that, Ahab, Elijah, you go and hide yourself by the brook called Cherith.
Yeah, yeah.
And there you can drink the water from the brook, and I'm going to have ravens to feed you morning and evening,
Yeah, yeah.
bread and meat.
Bread.
But as soon as you tell Ahab that it's not going to rain, you better go hide, because he's going to seek to kill you.
All right.
Elijah did exactly what God said. He went and hid. He drank at the brook. Ravens fed him day, morning and evening. But the brook ultimately dried up. Say the brook dried up.
Yeah.
Sometimes when God get ready to change your direction, to change your assignment, he'll have natural things to change in your life.
All right.
But if you're tuned to God and you're discerning what he's doing, you know that he loves you. He's talking to you through those natural circumstances.
Yeah, yeah.
So when the brook dried up, it was time for Elijah to go to Zarephath.
Yeah.
He had a widow up there that he wanted to deal with. This is all in those span of 3 years while he was waiting on it to rain. God said, after 3 years, God said to Elijah, go and present yourself to Ahab. Go and tell Ahab, been looking for you every country around. He's been looking for you. Because you said, by your words, you can stop the rain. All of his livestock are dying. All of his vegetation are drying up. They need rain. And you said you could stop the rain, and so since you said it, it hadn't rained.
Yeah.
And it's been 3 years now. So they're looking for you everywhere. Then Ahab got Obadiah, his servant. Really, he was a child of God. Sometimes God will let his choice people work right along with an evil person.
Right.
Ahab was God's man, but he was evil.
Yeah.
And he had this other man, Obadiah, his servant, working right along with it. And Jezebel was killing all of the prophets. Which everybody that loved God, Jezebel would kill him because she was of Baal.
Right.
She didn't kill nothing about Israel. Somebody say praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
Jezebel would kill him. And Obadiah, he and Ahab was going looking for vegetation for the animals. Looking for something. And in the process of looking, they ran across, they said, well, we're going to split up. Ahab going to go one way and Obadiah go another way. Obadiah went in his direction and he ran across Elijah. When he ran across Elijah, Obadiah said, oh, I know you're Elijah. Elijah told him, said, look, man, said, you go back and tell Ahab, here I am. Don't look no place else. Here I come. Obadiah got scared. He says, no, if I go and tell him that you're coming and the Lord hides you like he did the last time, he hid you from him, he would kill me. So how could I go and tell him that I know where you are and risking my life? Elijah said, don't worry about risking your life.
All right.
If you tell him I'll show up, I will show up. Obadiah and Elijah made an agreement that he would go back and tell him that Elijah was going to come to see him. They met. Ahab and Elijah met. When Ahab saw Elijah, he said, oh, man who troubled Israel. Elijah said, I'm not the one that troubled Israel. You're the one that troubled Israel. You and your fathers are worshiping Baal. That's why Israel is troubled. That's why this drought is here. That's why all your cattle are dying. That's why the vegetation is dying. Because you and your fathers have forsaken the God of Israel.
All right.
Obadiah went and told Elijah. As they met, Elijah said to Obadiah, or he said to the king Ahab, You get your men and I get my men.
All right.
You get 450 of your prophets, and I'm just gonna come along.
Yeah.
And we're gonna set up an altar. And on the altar, we're gonna put a sacrifice. We're gonna get a bull, cut him up, put him on the altar. And the God that answers by fire will be the natural, will be everybody's God. They agree.
All right. Say it then.
From morning to night, or from morning to noon, the folks that worship Baal went and was calling on Baal. Baal, speak to us. Do something. They was cutting themselves, bleeding. Because they wanted this God that they were worshiping to perform. Elijah mocked him. He started laughing at him. So maybe he's asleep. So holler a little louder. Or maybe he's going to the restroom. Talk to you don't know where you are. Elijah mocked him. And when it come down to Elijah's time, Elijah said, I tell you what, you get a trench. And he cut his bull up, put it on the altar, got a trench and dug it around it. So you get 4 buckets of water, poured on the altar. And they poured it on the altar. Elijah got down and prayed. When Elijah prayed, God sent fire from heaven, licked up all the water, sucked up all the water, burnt up, took the burnt sacrifice. And all the people looked around and says, his God is our God. He's the real God. When God came in from heaven and showed the people who he was, everybody knew that who was going to be the real God.
All right.
They're saying to us that there's a remedy for everybody's problem.
Yeah.
There's a remedy for whatever is annoying you.
Yeah.
Elijah's remedy at that time was just to eat and rest. Eat and rest. Eat and rest. Sometimes the remedy that's bugging you is a very simplistic one.
All right.
Eat and rest.
Eat and rest.
But God got a job for you.
Yeah.
God's got a job for you. Elijah went down. Elijah went to heaven, whole soul and body.
Yes.
There's a lot more to this story, but as we close this out, a chariot came down from heaven.
All right.
Just like we sang a song, people get ready, there's a train coming.
Yeah.
It was a chariot that came down from heaven and picked up Elijah, took him back to heaven.
All right. Praise the Lord.
He was just a regular man like me or you.
Yeah.
If you're here today, why don't you give your life to Jesus? He knows what's ailing you. He knows what you complain about. People get ready. There's a chariot coming.
You don't need no ticket, you just get on board.
All you need is faith
To see the diesel coming,
everybody. You should just
thank the Lord.
there's no room
For the hopeless sinner
give your life to Jesus.
who hurt all mankind just to sleep